It's a wild world out there, but some worlds are even wilder. Hi, my name is Tyler Hapney, and you're listening to Dungeons and Dystopias. Thank you for listening.
Hello and welcome to yet another episode of Dungeons and Dystopias. I am your game master and host, Tyler Happy. I've run hundreds of sessions of Cyberpunk RED and Dungeons and Dragons combined, and this podcast is a way for me to reconcile my thoughts on both of those systems. Today, we're going to be talking a bit more about Cyberpunk RED, like I mentioned, and, last episode. Last episode, I mentioned we'd be doing some Cyberpunk RED today, and I mentioned maybe, just maybe, we might have the possibility of a DLC releasing between now and the last episode, and you'll never guess. That's exactly what happened. It was shadow dropped. It wasn't even like, usually they talk about when they're doing this type of thing, but this one is a big one. They dropped an Interface RED, which is like, huge. I mean, Interface RED, the last time we got an Interface RED, we got all the new martial arts, and that was huge and game-changing. And you'll never guess, this week, we also got something huge and game-changing, and we didn't have any lead-up to this. They really just dropped this out of the blue. So what is this new? Well, first off, it's Interface RED. So we've got a bunch of DLCs from the past bundled together. This one comes with Breaking Your Stuff, Did Someone Say Murder, Chasing the Rabbit, Your New Best Friend, All About Agents, Scream Sheet Generator, Toggle's Temple, really good, 12 Days of Redness, really good, we covered that one. And then finally, the big new piece of information that is changing the game, Solo of Fortune 2045. Now, what is Solo of Fortune? Solo of Fortune, from the older versions of Cyberpunk, usually came with like a lot of gear. There's a lot of stuff based on like solo and mercenary work. Well, here we are again with an updated version of Solo of Fortune 2045, and it looks so good. It looks so good. So, anyways. Solo Fortune. Right. So, this basically adds an entirely new difficulty to the game. Mercenary mode is what we're going to call it. I guess they call it mercenary level, but I like mercenary mode alliteration. These are highly, highly sophisticated missions that usually involve a lot of crazy high level type of, complexity type stuff. Like some real geopolitics type stuff, if you know what I mean. These are the intense missions, the really intense missions. We're no longer at street level. We're now working for militaries, for, corporations, and doing huge strikes on facilities. And, this is a lot more than just what your average cyberpunk edge runner is going to be getting up to, at the start of their career. This is like end of your career, Morgan Black Hand level stuff. All rules fit into mercenary level of play, obviously. You can also expect to see hardened enemies and other rival crews in the middle of these missions. Really, truly, you can expect to see a whole lot of stuff, is all I'm saying. Just some crazy, crazy benefits here. For instance, a easy mission in mercenary mode usually pays about 3,000 to 4,000 Euro, which, just for reference, a normal mission on street level pays like 1,000 Euro. So you've already got to, already, even the easy missions are harder than anything you're going to get on the street. Just straight up. Your typical mission, you're going to be getting 4,000 to 7,000 Euro, and for a dangerous mission of mercenary mode variety, 6,000 to 9,000 Euro in rewards. So generally, these things are pretty worth it, but they're very, 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 very risky. But honestly, generally, if you're doing mercenary mode, chances are you're going to have some of the equipment that they have with mercenary mode. And that is something we would love to talk about right now. So we have some new weapon attachments before we get started, and this one's interesting. I want to start off with the sniper rifle rechamber. This is crazy. Rechamber your sniper rifle into a higher caliber. It increases your damage on your sniper rifle from 5d6 to 66, which is crazy. Doing 66 on a sniper rifle is insane, but I mean, obviously it's a high level sniper rifle. There's range table modification. This one's an interesting one. We had an entire new range table based off of different modifications you can make. Like now we have long barrel shotguns, battle rifles, scout rifles, short bows, long bows, snub nose pistols, all sorts of stuff. And this is all, it's all new. It's like, I don't know. We got this overnight. I'm still amazed that they just shadow dropped this. We didn't know it was coming or anything. There's auto fire attachments that make your auto fire better. You now have different types of auto fire. There's machine pistol, machine gun, all sorts of stuff. And you can now basically, we have pistols. You can attach auto fire to your pistols. You can attach auto fire to your shotguns. You can attach auto fire to. You can increase your auto fire on your SMG. Literally, we've made auto fire way better, and we have so many attachments that make auto fire way better. It's really just some great stuff. Let's talk about some of the actual weapons you can get. I'm really excited about some of these, like the Metacorp Chain Gun Victoria. This is a single barrel water sealed machine gun cycled by a high RPM chain drive. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but essentially this is a machine gun battle rifle, two hands, 100 capacity. It has auto fire 5, which is insane, in 3 modification slots for upgrades. So, that's $4,000 for that. We've also got the Midnight Arms Dawnmaker AMR, an excellent quality sniper rifle. It's an anti-material rifle. It does 66 damage. With no slots, but it does come with an infrared night vision scope, smart gun link, and sniper rifle rechamber. So you can tell, even the guns that they're giving us, these are some high level plays. A lot of these are auto fire 5, or they're rechambered, or they've got a bunch of ammo. I don't know. A lot of these are just super, super good weapons. We have the Tectonica Russia BMG 500 Silver Edition, which is, I guess, an upgrade to the regular BMG 500. Also, of course, auto fire 5, 3 open slots. And of course, you require a body 11 or higher, unless you're mounted or prone. We've got another version of the Tsunami Arms Helix, which is auto fire 5. Capacity 40, classic Tsunami Arms. Just so many guns, man. So many guns. And we're not even into the super interesting part of Solo Fortune yet. This is all the weapons. And that's, it's cool. It's awesome. But let's talk about, some of the ammo they've added to the game. Once again, completely changing a lot of the balance in adding all this new high complex, high intensity stuff. You really are just making a new difficulty level for Cyberpunk, which is insane. Explosive ammunition. This is crazy. The ammunition cannot be used to make an aim shot, which is, understandable. Attacks made with the ammunition are added -2 penalty, but when using the ammunition, 5s are treated as 6s on your damage dice solely for the purpose of determining if your attack causes a critical injury, which means you're going to be dealing way more critical injuries with explosive ammunition. You're going to be blasting limbs off left and right. And then we've got high precision ammunition. To either utilize this ammunition, a user must have either a skill level 7 or higher in the appropriate weapon, or a combat awareness rank 1 or higher. So automatically, you need to be skilled in your weapon or a solo. Users meeting one of those requirements who attack with a weapon loaded with high precision ammunition at +1 to their attack check when firing in single shot mode, or +2 to their attack check when making an aimed shot, which means that's even an even bigger bonus to aim shots you can get if you really going for it. Because think about it, you can get like a scope, you could get that targeting scope, Cyber Eye. You can get, if you have combat awareness, you can of course boost that up. You can essentially make it so that an aim shot, the minus from an aim shot doesn't mean anything. because now we have another +2 we can add into that. And I think, combine that with Solo's abilities and Cyberware, you can generally just get rid of that. That minus on aim shots, if you're smart enough. So that's crazy. Hyper expansive ammunition. Whenever this ammunition causes a critical injury, the victim rolls a second time on the critical injury table until they roll a critical injury they aren't currently suffering. They then suffer that critical injury as well with no bonus damage. So, hey, hyper expansive ammunition. If you deal 1 critical injury, you're dealing 2, which can be nasty. That can be really nasty depending on the critical injuries you get. That can be generally crazy. Let's talk about explosives now. Let's move on to C9, which, we've been using C6 in my home game, but now we finally have C9, and we have the stats for that. This one is fun because it actually uses a demolition skill check, which a lot of the things that actually in this DLC now come with like a demolition skill check, which wasn't really a thing beforehand, but now we have a reason to use demolitions. C9's great, deals 8d6 damage when it explodes. Great stuff. A Highland Defense Sticky Bomb Launcher. This is crazy. Have you ever played Team Fortress 2? Have you ever played Demoman? Well, guess what? This is the Sticky Bomb Launcher. You fire charges of C9, spherical charges, and then, it sticks, and then, boom, it explodes. Great. It's really, really, really great. It uses the mini C9 charges, so they only deal 66 damage when they explode. Unless you fail, then it'll go 46 damage instead on the demolitions check. But yeah, come on, man. That's crazy stuff. But we're not even getting into the crazy stuff. The really crazy stuff. They added so much in this DLC. But, yeah, let's get on to what's some of this bigger stuff here. Well, not even some of the bigger stuff. Sorry, we got some more drugs to go through. We got multi-hypo, which means you can inject people with multiple drugs at the same time. Airburst ammunition, which means you can shoot people with drugs. We have so many different terrible drugs to use in your enemies. Anti-cerebral, deliriant, mind fire, mortalis. All of these are absolutely insane. Great for torture. If you are interested in something like that. But, most of these drugs are 100% weapons more than they are anything to help you out. I will say, though, red lace and white lace does not necessarily seem like torture drugs. They seem more like competitors or side upgrades to black lace. So, yeah. Black lace, red lace, what it does is it allows you to treat 5s as 6s on your damage dice solely for the purpose of determining your attack causes a critical injury when you're doing melee weapons. In white lace, well, honestly, it seems like it's mainly there to kind of help with black lace a little bit. It only lasts 12 hours compared to red lace's 24. Yeah, it's pretty much the same thing as black lace. They ignore the effects of the seriously wounded state. But it's I think it's like black lace light, if that makes sense, is the best way to do that. All right. And then let's finally get into what I've been looking to get into, the ACPAs, the Assisted Combat Power Armor. Yep, that's right. We have power armor now. And this is some pretty crazy stuff. All right. Some of these get insane. Like for instance, you're paying at least 10,000 for one. I'm pretty much guessing, unless you're building it out of like a junkyard. But for the most part, these things are like the Arasaka Neo Guardian is 17,900 eddies. But this is literally, it's a power armor frame. So you sit inside of it and pilot it, and it's got, its own HP, its own SP, it's got its own weapons, cyberware, armor. It's built around a linear frame. So this is it's basically like fighting an entirely new person, but with higher stopping power and HP than your normal average, schmo. So, this is really great for like boss fights. And of course we have the Arasaka Dione, the classic, what Adam Smasher used to rock around in, maybe even still does. But the Dione is 39 HP, 19 stopping power, which is insane. Body 16. It's got a -1 to its move because it's so bulky. But it comes with an Arasaka Neo Rapid Assault with a tech upgrade +1 attachment slot with Sparkle Link, Kendachi Mono 3, which is insane. Midnight Arms Dawnmaker AMR with Cypher Scout Barrel, Tsunami Arms Type IP 18S, Tsunami Arms Helix Citrus Edition, which we talked about earlier, and the Smart Gun Link. So basically, this guy is loaded with everything on the freaking planet. This guy, if there's a situation, this guy has a weapon for it. The Arasaka Dione costs 61,350 Euro dollars. Yep. So, probably not going to be paying a lot for that one. Oh, man. We could go for a long time here talking about this. I have so much to say about these power armors, but we are getting close to the end of the episode and also getting close to the end of this DLC. I will tell you, there is a mission that comes along with this DLC. It's a little mercenary sort of type deal. I'm not going to go too deep into it. Actually, there are 2 missions, excuse me. But, if you're interested in this kind of gameplay where it's like that high level stuff, this is the DLC for you. This will completely change your game. These items, it even recommends, don't give your players access to these items unless you want to be in like a mercenary level campaign, because some of these items are like crazy good. Like, oh man, these are like top tier weapons, which, we've seen some of that in Cyberpunk, but this is like not to this extent. So I'm excited. I hope we get to see more crazy stuff in the future. I know my players, some of them are a little kind of like, whatever. I don't give too much of a crap about this. I like my street level stuff, but I've told them, I've reassured them, this is Cyberpunk. This is part of it. This is like that high level stuff, and it's stuff I love. Like, I want to see some tanks, man. I don't know. All right, let's get on to our metaphorical monster of the week. And this one's a big one. This one's an interesting one. I've probably talked about him already, to be honest with you, but I want to talk about him again because he's in this DLC. And that is going to be Morgan Blackhand. Morgan Blackhand. Who is Morgan Blackhand? Well, you've probably heard his name at least a few times before if you've played Cyberpunk 2077 or even paid very much attention to Cyberpunk lore. So Morgan Blackhand is the solo. This is the guy that everyone is thinking of when they think the word solo, at least in Night City, because this guy is like, I don't know, he's king, is the basic way to put it. He is able to get in and get out, disable everybody, no killing. He is so good at his job that you'd barely even know Morgan Blackhand was even there. You don't even know if Morgan Blackhand's alive. Well, we do technically know if Morgan Blackhand's alive. I'm pretty sure he is. I'm almost positive Mike Pondsmith has confirmed that Morgan Blackhand is still alive. And in fact, we've heard a few things from him maybe recently. So who knows? But yeah, I mean, look, I'm gonna just come out with it. There's a thing in the DLC where he writes a letter or writes a passage or something, and he labels it MB. It's got to be Morgan Blackhand. And he leaves a note, RA, don't look for me there. Look for me, I won't be there. That's, I'm pretty sure RA is supposed to be Rogue Amendiaries. So that's definitely Morgan Blackhand. And so we know he's alive. Don't know what he's up to. Don't know sort of what he's kind of been thinking. I mean, is he still with Militech after the Fourth Corporate War, or is he off doing his own thing? We don't know. And that's something we're going to have to find out, I think, just over the time, maybe through Cyberpunk RED's meta story. I don't even know if we were going to do that, but it would just be really interesting to find out where the hell Morgan Blackhand has been all this time. Personally, I suspect he's been just off doing solo stuff, and he's so good at his job that, he's trying not to get caught, and it's working because he's Morgan Blackhand. I guess I didn't cover the fact that Morgan Blackhand would have technically was considered technically dead after the fall of Arasaka Tower, but according to Mike Pondsmith, he rode Atom Smasher down like a surfboard and was able to escape the blast. So, if there's anyone in the cyberpunk setting that can ride Atom Smasher like a surfboard, it's Morgan Blackhand. I love this guy. I think Mike Pondsmith in the past has said he's always kind of imagined sort of a George Clooney-esque look for Morgan Blackhand, and I'd see it, I guess. I personally, for Morgan Blackhand, oh man, who would I cast? I'd probably cast like Ron Perlman. I think would be really, really good, or Josh Brolin. I think would be a really good Morgan Blackhand. I don't know. That's just me spitballing. This episode's already been kind of a lot of rambling. I'm just so excited for this DLC. There's so many cool things. And I can't wait to use them on my players. And maybe even give my players access to some of these weapons, because we are at that point where a lot of our players, or a lot of our characters, are engaging in very high level, sophisticated stuff. So this DLC is great for me. It came at the perfect time. And generally, I give it 2 thumbs up. That'll be it for us this week. We'll come back next week. We'll talk a bit more about Dungeons and Dragons. As for now, my name is Tyler Happney, and this has been Dungeons and Dystopias. Thank you so much for listening.